Welcome to the Grassroots Army Podcast. This platform is for common sense people looking for up-to-date, accurate, and truthful information without the hot garbage corporate media bias. The power of one can lead to the power of many. You never know what small act that you may say or do that may literally change the lives of millions tomorrow. And don't you ever think that you can't make a difference, because you can. Good morning, my fellow Michiganders. Good morning, my fellow Americans. Holy cow, is this media cycle insane right now? It's like every single morning when you get up, it's like going down to the Christmas tree and looking at all your presents. Is what happened yesterday, especially with promises made, promises kept. Donald Trump continues to hammer down and follow through with everything that he said he was going to do, and it's happening fast. It's nonstop. I tell you what, here's one thing that happened yesterday afternoon into the evening that I didn't have on my bingo card. I didn't ever imagine that we would be taking over the Gaza Strip, okay? And we're going to talk about that because, as I said time and time again, the Middle East is very, very complicated, all right? So before I get into this video, bottom line, look, everything that we have tried in the past has obviously have not worked, okay? There has been nothing but violence over in that area for many, many decades, okay? And Trump is an executive who is going to think outside the box. So here's one thing that we do know is the deep state. What do they thrive on? Instability, war. We have said time and time and time again that they make money on both sides of conflict. They love Israel and Palestine being an endless state of conflict because that's when they can justify all this foreign aid. And we're going to get into foreign aid in the USAID here in a second, and how the Democrats are literally losing their mind over the accountability that President Trump, Elon Musk, Marco Rubio. I mean, it is wonderful to see, and we're going to break that down here in a second. But President Trump is trying to find a permanent solution for peace. Now, if we've seen pictures of the Gaza Strip right now, it's rubble. Nobody can live there. It literally needs to be cleaned up, bulldozed, and start over. And I've said this time and time again, especially to all my Middle Eastern folk in the Dearborn community. We said this time and time again, Israel has every right to defend itself, but the Palestinians and the folks over there, they deserve to live in peace. So how do we stop all the killing? Because it's the civilians that take the brunt of this, not the terrorist organizations. They take the brunt of it too, but it's the civilians, okay? So we obviously have to start thinking outside the box, and Trump's ultimate goal is, bottom line, let's stop the killing, especially to the civilians. So we're going to see. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know where, all the Palestinians are going to be moved to. I don't know if that's fair. I have really, it's above my pay grade, folks. I don't have a solution. Obviously, a lot of other leaders in the past didn't have a solution because nothing's changed. But this is the first kind of outside of the box thinking that I've heard of. So President Trump obviously must have a vision and a plan. But here's the thing that we can't deny. He's got good intentions. One thing's for certain. He is set on destroying the deep state, whether these crazies on the left like it or not. He's literally purging right now the FBI, the CIA. We're going to get into Marco Rubio and USAID, the Department of Education. I don't fully understand it, but time will tell and history will judge. Okay. So let's get into what our President Trump, said yesterday. Here we go.
It doesn't mean anything about a two-state or one state or any other state. It means that we want to give people a chance at life. They have never had a chance at life because the Gaza Strip has been a hellhole for people living there. It's been horrible. Hamas has made it so bad, so dangerous, so unfair to people. And by doing what I'm recommending that we do, it's a very strong recommendation, but it is a strong recommendation. By doing that, we think we're going to bring perhaps great peace to long beyond this area. And I have to stress, this is not for Israel, this is for everybody in the Middle East, Arabs, Muslims, this is for everybody. This would be where they can partake in terms of jobs and living and all of the other benefits. And I think it's very important. It just doesn't work the other way. You know, you can't keep trying. They just has been going along for so many decades, you can't even count. You just can't keep doing. You have to learn from history. You can't keep doing the same mistake over and over again. Gaza is a hellhole right now. It was before the bombing started, frankly. And we're going to give people a chance to live in a beautiful community that's safe and secure. And I think you're going to see a tremendous outflowing of support. I can tell you, I spoke to other leaders of countries in the Middle East, and they love the idea. They say it would really bring stability, and what we need is stability. Yes, sir, please.
And you think about that stability. So I am open to see if it works. Holy cow. Nothing's in the past that's obviously worked. So he's obviously going to be thinking outside the box, in which we're going to see. Again, it's above my pay grade to talk about the foreign policy, especially when it comes to the Middle East. It's complicated, obviously. And I don't think anyone's going to be 100% winning on either side. I think there's going to be a lot of upset people on both sides. But I think what we all can agree on is peace is going to be better for everyone. How that works out is beyond me, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's get into the cleanup in aisle 5 with Trump's cabinet picks, along with just Doge. And they are doing everything that we wanted. Like it's unbelievable. We're finally getting some accountability, and they're going through these organizations with a fine-tooth comb, and they're finding all kinds of waste. And that is one thing that we have to continue to push forward, is stop the endless spending. So let's just take, and this is comical because we're going to get into the Democrats here freaking out and calling for a tax against this. Let's just take politics out of it, whether you're on the right or on your left, because I always try to look at the other side and see, what's their views on things, because we're not going to agree on everything. But when you take President Trump out of it, and no matter what President Trump will do, the people with Trump derangement syndrome will kick and scream and throw a hissy fit no matter what. Whether it's good for the country or not, they are going to kick and scream because they are so brainwashed that he is a dictator and he is Orange Man bad, and he's going to bring down this idea called America, right? There's no getting through to those people, all right? But when you look at this logically, let's keep Trump, let's keep everyone out of it, and say, okay, can we come to the table and sit down and say, do you think just sending all of our tax-paying dollars overseas for all this hot garbage is not going to further our interests or the people that we're supposedly trying to help? We can all agree that we should audit these types of things and make sure that if we're going to send our tax dollars, our hard-earned money over there, then it has to make sense, right? And I think everyone on that table or sitting at that table would agree, like, well, of course. Yeah, I mean, we should go through, we should do like a forensic audit to make sure that whatever we're supporting, it's going to further our interests, it's going to help humanity. We all can agree with that. That's exactly what President Trump and Elon Musk and everyone is doing. Now what you're seeing is an enormous kickback from these corrupt politicians. I wonder why. Do you think there's some type of money laundering scheme that's going on, that is going over there and it's lining the pocketbooks of these politicians? That's what we're going to find out. Because when you see them freak out over this common sense, you have to sit back and say, well, wait a minute. Like we're just auditing where our money goes. And I think everyone can agree that's a good thing. So listen to what Marco Rubio says, and then we're going to get into President Trump, and then we're going to see the Democrats throw a hissy fit, which, you know me, I always enjoy. Here we go.
About aid. No one's talking. This is a 90-day freeze through which it allows us now to review programs. Before we did the freeze, we couldn't find out anything about some of these programs. And USAID in particular, they refuse to tell us anything. We won't tell you what the money's going to, where the money's for, who has it, which contractor it's been. In some cases it goes through 4 different contractors before it reaches the intended recipient. These are not my numbers. These are USAID's number. In some cases with USAID, 10, 12, 13%, maybe less of the money was actually reaching the recipient and the rest was going into the overhead and the bureaucracy, this isn't my money. This is taxpayer money. So we're not going to eliminate foreign aid. We're going to have foreign aid that makes sense. We're going to have foreign aid that works. We're going to have foreign aid that furthers the national interest. We're going to have foreign aid that benefits our trusted partners and our allies. I am here today, we've issued a waiver today because in Costa Rica we have a trusted partner and an ally who has proven that they have taken aid from the United States and used it to fix a problem, to help us, to do it in a way that actually helps the United States. They're stopping drugs. They're stopping criminals. They're identifying terrorists. This is foreign aid that furthers the national interest. Other programs we have questions about. But we've also issued waivers because we don't want anybody see anybody die or anybody be harmed in the short term. But we're going to conduct a review, and we are going to have foreign aid in this country that is going to further the national interest of the United States. If it doesn't make us stronger or more prosperous or more secure, we aren't going to spend taxpayer money on it. We owe that to the people of our country.
Why wouldn't you want that? I don't care what side of the aisle. Mark my words. If old man Biden, right? If he would have did this type of approach, maybe some crazy people would be kicking and screaming, but the majority of us, the ones with common sense and logic, would be like, no, this is good. I don't care who does it, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, a Libertarian, no affiliation to whatever party. When you tell me as an American, hey, look, Garrett, we're going to go through and we're going to see and we're going to find out where your hard-earned tax dollars are going, and we're going to cut all this waste, which is going to allow our country to be better off, and it's going to probably put more money back into your pocket. I'd be like, let's roll. And you know what? I would vote for that person. If they're standing up and they're claiming that they're going to do these things and then fall through, I'm going to support that person 100%. But why in the hell are all the Democrats freaking out over this? We know why. Because you all are dirty birds and you all been having your hand in the cookie jar for decades. And I'm sure there's Republicans too. You all should be held accountable. That's what I hope that happens. And I think all of you that are watching this, I know that you guys want the same thing. We're done with kind of accusations and, all this other stuff that goes on with no accountability. How about we start getting some accountability for the corruption to teach people in the future, hey, if you do this shit, you're going to be held accountable and your ass is going to prison. That's what we want. That's what we want. You don't get a get out of jail free card for being a public servant and a politician, right? Public servant first, and have all this corruption, take all this money, line your dirty pocketbooks, right? And then say, oh, no, I get immunity. No, you don't. No, you should not. And that's what I hope happens. And that's why the Democrats are freaking out. Let me see if I can find the video, because they are just throwing a hissy fit on everything that's going on, which makes you question their motives. Here we go.
Every one of the 47 Democratic senators is going to vote against that horrible, dangerous man, Russell Vogt, on Wednesday. And we cannot allow Elon Musk and a small group of people to secretly, behind closed doors, take away our privacy, take away our dollars, take away everything we have. We are going to fight this fight. I am going to stand with you in this fight, and we will win. We will win. We will win.
So it's, why are they throwing such a hissy fit over accountability? Well, we all know why. And I hope there is some accountability. I hope we uncover a whole bunch of corruption and we find out who has had their hand in the cookie jar, regardless of a political affiliation. I don't care if it's Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents. I don't care. Any of y'all who are a part of this should be prosecuted and never serve in office again. Because when I hear President Trump, and this is what I like about President Trump this time, okay? He's calm, cool, and collective. Do you guys notice that when he does these press conferences, he's not as like New Yorkish like he was in the past? I mean, you kind of reflect back what this guy has been through over the past decade. I mean, oh my goodness, he's still standing. He still is like the Energizer bunny on caffeine every day. Must be those Diet Cokes, which I don't condone as a chiropractor. He should be not eating McDonald's and Diet Cokes all the time. But hey, it works for him. Fine, I don't care. But he's calm, cool, and collective with everything that he's doing right now. Now, he may have some outbursts here in the future, but it's a whole different administration than it was prior. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Thank you, sir. On Elon Musk, how often are you talking to him? And have there been ideas that he has brought to you that you've said, oh, no, wait a minute, this is going a little too far?
Well, many ideas, but look, he's done a great job. Look at all the fraud that he's found in this USAID. It's a disaster what the people, radical left lunatics, they have things that nobody would have even believed. The whole thing with $100 million spent on you know what, with money going to all sorts of groups that shouldn't deserve to get any money, with the money. I'd like to see what the kickbacks are. How much money has been kicked back? Who would spend that kind of money to some of the things that you read about and I read about and I see every night on the news and every morning when I read the papers? Who would spend money for that? I would say this, the people that got all that money, are they kicking it back to the people that gave it from government? No, that's, to me, very, very corrupt. The real question is how much of a kickback has there been? And one of the things I want to investigate rapidly, because I've never seen anything to this.
Common sense, right? I mean, that's what it sounds like. And it's interesting to watch the Democrats lose their mind over this, but it's all going to be revealed, just like when Robert Kennedy Jr. called out old Bernie, Weekend at Bernie's, right? Over all the money that he got from the pharmaceutical companies. And he was all flustered. He's like, it was a drop in the bucket. Still, you got over $1 million from pharmaceutical companies, Bernie. No wonder you do not want any accountability to happen, because there goes your fundraising, right? So it is interesting about accountability, because the Democrats, well, they live to a different tune. They can say things, they can do things on social media, and there's no accountability. Let's reflect back, because this is very important. Do you understand if Elon Musk did not buy Twitter, President Trump probably wouldn't have won? Okay? Because here's what's happened. In the past, conservatives like myself and others out there, you guys have lived and breathed this. We have been censored. We have been deplatformed. We have been shadow banned. We could never hold these elected officials accountable. So when they used to make outlandish statements on social media, we would combat it, but we would get deplatformed, taken off for hate, for sharing false information, all this stuff. So what happened over the years is the Democrats start creating their own little utopian society, their own reality with things, thinking that what they were doing was what the majority of the people wanted. It was an illusion, because everyone that was trying to fight back against it with facts was deplatformed, and that continued to get pushed, right? So they built this big kind of illusion on this is what America should want. We want indoctrination into our public schools. We want all this DEI crap and CRT and all this other stuff that was going on. And anything that came about, like the Hunter Biden laptop, they censored, they deplatformed, and they created this illusion. Here comes Elon Musk, buys X, cleans house, throws the kitchen sink out, as they say, right? And allows free speech to happen. And these Democrats who lived in this illusion over the past decade, they don't know what to do with themselves, because whenever they make statements on X, which before on Twitter, they would get all this love and all their social media minions would go and support them. And the majority of the comments and conversation would be like, oh, you're great. I love you. Not anymore. Holy cow, if you want entertainment, go over on X and follow some of these corrupt politicians like Dana Nessel and Governor Whitmer and Jocelyn Benson and everyone else, Chuck Schumer. You go on, and the attacks that they get. Some of them are very vicious, right? However, there's so much common sense in there, and they're probably going, what the hell's going on? That's what happened. See, you created an illusion. That's not what reality, that's not what Americans wanted. You just got a taste of what Americans wanted. Now we have leaders that are following through for once, following through with that, what they said that they were going to do. They are now doing it in front of our very eyes. Okay. So I'm going to highlight some of the hot garbage because, you know, I love highlighting the terrible three in the state of Michigan: Governor Whitmer, Dana Nessel, Jocelyn Benson. And so let's first get into Dana Nessel. Let me see if I can find which one I want to talk about first. Here we go. She made this post, I think yesterday. All right, let's break it down. While it's true that a majority of Michigan voters selected Donald Trump to serve as our president, the whims of the majority cannot and should not be permitted to infringe upon any resident's rights and liberties. Right? She made that statement. So I posted on X a rebuttal and I said, let's see what your colleague, Governor Whitmer, said about that back in November 10th, 2009. Listen to this.
The Constitution, I have a good friend who's a wise old attorney who told me one time, and I think it was a great stroke of wisdom, and he said, the Constitution is to be used as a shield to protect people's rights, not as a sword to take down some people's rights and others. It's to protect all of our rights. And when you use it as a weapon to take away rights of some and protect only rights of few, you jeopardize the rights of all of us.
Not my words. That's her colleague. Totally threw that right out there at Dana Nessel. Because here's what's going on, Dana Nessel. She's going out there and she's stating that she's a crusader now. She's prosecuting all these people that spread hate and violence. Look what she had to say with this. Threats against those who serve our communities. There we go. Let me pause that. Threats against those who serve our communities cannot and will not be tolerated. My office will continue to protect public officials from intimidation by prosecuting those who seek to undermine their safety and the public safety through fear. That's fantastic. Okay, you're going to go out there and you're going to start prosecuting people? Are you going to prosecute more than just conservatives? Because I'm still waiting to see what happens to this guy, right? He is on record of basically calling the death penalty for Trump supporters, and he wants them hanged by the neck until dead. Lenawee County Democrat Party Chairman Bill Swift, who I think has stepped down, okay? But he made this claim over on X, which is kind of violent. This is the problem. Anybody who's trying to make Donald Trump king is a traitor who should be hanged by the neck until dead. I think that's a threat, isn't it? Is that a threat to Trump supporters, right? We've been consistent about this before this election. Presidents are not kings, and anybody trying to make a president a king is a domestic enemy of the republic and a traitor who deserves the full measure of punishment as outlined by the Constitution of these United States. Interesting, he made that comment, right? We're going to get into that here in a second. Let's get into it right now. So anyone that tries to steal an election, that would be considered tyrannical, right? A traitor. Anybody that, shoved a bunch of ballots, I'm just stating what you stated. So anybody who is caught interfering with an election or trying to cheat or has cheated, I think we can all agree that's a domestic threat, right? But let's go on. Just wanted to add that point. Then this is from the Lenawee County Democratic Party. Same party. I don't know if the same guy, Bill, posted this, but we received reports of ICE operating in Lenawee County today. It should be understood that in the context of illegitimately and unconstitutionally elected insurrectionist president who ran on Nazi rhetoric and who had what was, in effect, a Nazi rally for his presidential inauguration, that the agents of ICE that are operating in our country today that are properly defined as Nazi collaborators. Holy cow. Do these people live in an illusion? They're so full of hatred. And they try to paint out, and thank God Elon Musk bought Twitter because it's not succeeding, that conservatives are the enemy. Conservatives are the radical ones. Holy cow. You look at all these folks online right now with Trump derangement syndrome. they are the radical ones. They are the violent ones, right? That's why I put out this morning, folks, keep your head on a swivel. We have painted these folks into a corner. The politicians are going to be uncovered to be very corrupt and taking money, and they are going to kick and scream and do everything to protect themselves, calling for violence, get into the streets, attack, riot, protest peacefully. Yeah, right. We saw how that went down. That's what they're going to do. So be aware. Just don't sit on the sidelines. Keep your head on a swivel. And we have to continue to stand vigilant because it's going to be a crazy, it's already been a crazy 2 weeks. It's going to be a crazy couple of years, folks. Okay, we have a lot of work to do. That's why we have to continue to hammer down in 2026 to make sure that we continue to get great Republicans elected into office so we can keep the House and the Senate and allow President Trump to continue to expose the corruption. Because some Democrats, typical politicians, flip and flop on everything that they have said and what they have done in the past. Now they come out and try to bring another narrative. All right, so let's talk about our nanny governor here, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Let's listen to what she had to say yesterday on social media.
Partners, I'm asking you to pay attention to the devastating impacts Trump's tariffs, otherwise known as a tax, are going to have on you and your family and our state. Michiganders are already struggling with high costs, and the last thing we need is for those costs to increase even more. President Trump's 25% tariffs will raise prices on cars, groceries, and energy for working families and put countless jobs at risk. Experts are saying they'll hurt the American auto workers and Michigan's auto industry. That middle-class tax hike could cripple Michigan's economy, hit your bank account hard, and hurt other working families you know. I'm really proud of the progress that we've made in Michigan to lower costs, bring supply chains home, and grow our economy. And we're not done. I'll keep working with anyone to deliver on the kitchen table issues and keep your money in your pocket.
Oh man. Where do I even begin? You guys know I live for these moments. You live for it. I've been calling this woman out over, oh my gosh, it's almost been 5 years straight that I've been calling this woman out and her hot garbage. Holy cow. Where do I even begin with this one? I made a statement yesterday. It's doing very well on X. But it's just, I got to bring it to your attention again because it's pure gold when they come out and say these things, because people who don't kind of like are activated and follow politics, they'll watch that video and say, man, she's awesome, man. Look at what she says. You know, she wants to lower taxes and kitchen table issues, and we're going to put more money in your pocketbook. And anyone that has had their head in the sand over the past 5 years, which unfortunately is the majority of people out there, they listen to that and say, wow, that's fantastic. And Governor Whitmer's doing a great job. But, you know, watching the Democrats again, and Canada and Mexico already folded with this, but the Trump tariffs have Democrats, you know, they're obviously accidentally emitting taxes may actually hammer the little guy, right? Because that's what they love to do. They love to tax and push all this corrupt money overseas and put him in like DEI and everything else. But now they're starting to admit, hey, taxes are going to hurt the little guy. Go figure. It's almost refreshing to actually hear her describe the economy, the hot garbage economy that the Democrats put us in. But the hypocrisy is so nauseating, I just can't get over that fact. Okay? So let's go into some of the things that Governor Whitmer claimed. And she says, we're going to stand for this now. Because as I've watched this woman and her policies and the way she does things, I sometimes sit back and say, you know what? There's no way. There's no way that she can get any worse. And then she calmly sits down and says, hold my crown. Hold my crown. Okay. So let's go in through a couple of points that I highlighted yesterday. She sued to shut down Canadian pipelines. She did that. Okay. Now she's outraged when Canada threatens to shut them down. Rules for thee, not for me, right? She subsidized wind turbines on farmland. Now she pretends that she cares about grocery prices. That's hot garbage, okay? She blocked a tax break, announced a new tax, and still claimed to fight for working families. Elites, again, hammering the middle class. And one of my favorites is she forced EV mandates on an industry that was already struggling, by the way, that knows Americans aren't buying them because they don't make sense. And then she says, She's protecting auto jobs. And I'm not even going in too deep of the past with the lockdowns, the mental health crisis, our education, which has collapsed in the state of Michigan, the mandates, you shoving COVID-infected people into nursing homes. I'm not even going to go into that because I'm running out of time on my show today because I got to go to work and serve my patients, okay? It's just another example of what these politicians, these corrupt elitists, what they're willing to say. They don't care. There's no shame. There's no shame. And that's what's so frustrating for all of us who are finally awakened. I know some folks are out there like, Garrett, where you been? It's always been this way. Well, folks, I've been honest about this in the past. I was asleep on the watch. Like a lot of you, COVID woke me up. Now I'm involved trying to do my best to make a difference, to leave this place, this little idea called America better than when I came into it. And I will do everything that I can. So 2026 is fast upon us. There's more and more people that are throwing their hat in the ring for all sorts of different positions. And we will continue to try to do our part in organizing and activating Michigan, America's greatest asset. We the people, to hammer down and get behind great Republican candidates so we can continue to allow President Trump to do what he's doing, to get common sense, to go through the budget, to go through all this gosh darn waste and just clean it up. I'm excited. You know, will he be batting 1,000? Probably not. There are going to be mistakes. There are going to be things that are said. Who knows? But I do feel that this country is finally going in the right direction because we have a good leader at the helm of the ship. And I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. And that's what we need in the state of Michigan. We don't need politicians. We don't need activists. We don't need social media influencers. They all have a part, but we need an executive, somebody with business experience that's going to lead this state out of the hole that they put us in. And now look, I'm always hammering the Democrats, but in the past, the Republican-led legislature was approving budgets that I think doubled our budget. There's a lot of wasteful spending there. I think we're starting to get a new and improved legislature. We're getting a lot of good quality Americans that love this country and love this flag, that are standing up, that are now in office. I feel that they are fighting and they're standing up because they know the people are behind them. And I think we have a new legislature, but the Republican-led legislature, they did increase our budget significantly. And I'm calling that out too, because that's hot garbage. And that's what I ran on when I was running for governor in this last cycle. Okay. So we got great people in the office. Let's continue to attract great people. Let's get the right people in the right positions. And that's what I always say. Like, don't outkick your punt coverage, right? You know, if you have a feeling that you want to run for governor and you feel it in your heart and soul, if you're not bringing a skill set to allow you to be an effective governor, you probably shouldn't run for governor. Start small and then work yourself up. Hey, maybe that is school board, city council, city commission, state rep if you have a skill set. But just don't start running for these big levels of office when you can't fundraise, when you don't have any business experience, when you're not going to be able to go around because it's a statewide race and state is very big and it's very exhausting. I've done it. Okay. So you have to make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror and do you have the right skill set? Doesn't mean you can't earn it with hard work, determination, persistence, accountability, right? But maybe now is not the time for you to run for that big level of office. Maybe you run for something smaller, get the skill set, and then work up into it. That's my humble opinion. We'll see how many people listen to that. Have a great day. God bless you. God bless State of Michigan. And of course, and always, God bless these United States. Talk to you soon.